Welcome to our podcast. We are Legends Unplugged. I'm Zach, or Mestalorian. Then you have,
Joey Bueno.
and
Alex or Lupe Fidelis.
so welcome to our podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Basically, we're gonna be talking about Legends, Star Wars, like the actual Legends books and stuff like that. We'll kind of we each picked different books in different time eras, or at least somewhat close to each other. And yeah, we're just reading them, and we're gonna be discussing what we read in the chapters, and kind of just I don't know. I mean, just kind of just doing something new. I haven't seen any podcasts really do anything like this. So this is something we've all kind of gathered together and thought about. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been excited for weeks to start this. So
It's finally here. We're actually doing it.
yes. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first. So I got Darth Maul Shadowhunter, Michael Reeves. And I'm only 3 chapters into it, but it is awesome so far. My Star Wars journey started pretty much with the prequels, and I was like 10. So Darth Maul is very interesting to me. That's why I picked this one. And starts out with chapter 1. We are on the Sac-Ak freighter with the Nemoidians about to invade Naboo. I guess I should say that this takes place just before the episode 1. And it's
You kind of just did.
Oh,
By
but
saying
anyway,
what ship you were on and what we were doing.
yeah. When the book called it a freighter, I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know it was that giant horseshoe with a ball in the middle of it. But
That
anyway,
just
so
sounds green cargo to me.
yeah. But so what we have is they're setting up. When I say it's Palpatine. He's got his little hologram in. He's talking to the 4 Nemoidians, or there should be 4, but there's only 3. One of them's disappeared, and they're discussing how they're going to do the embargo and the invasion of Naboo with the droids and that whole trade embargo thing. The Nemoidians are, like I said, there's supposed to be 4 of them, but only 3 of them were there. So now Palpatine is sitting there thinking that he's going to be double crossed, which probably he is. So he's a little sketchy about that. And what's really cool, I like the way Michael Reeves sets the tone and sets the scene for this chapter. When he's just describing Palpatine, he talks about how he says he speaks in a tone that, where to put it? He speaks in a tone accustomed to immediate obedience. And when I first read that, I thought that perfectly sums up, Palpatine Sidious, because he's just one of the baddies. So I thought that was pretty cool. And when he's describing the setting the scene on the Sac-Ak with the Nemoidians there, he talks about like how it's just super quiet, except for these like faint beeps of machines and like the low hum of the ventilators. And to me, that just reminded me of like if you're like sitting in the dentist or sitting at the doctor's office, you're just hearing shit going on, don't know what's going on, don't know what to expect, and it's just it built a lot of suspense for me. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so yeah, Palpatine slash Sidious, he thinks that something's up. Where's this 4th Nemoidian Hathmonchar? Um, not happy about that. So then he gets to on the hologram again, talks to Darth Maul, and basically tells him that he's got to go find Hathmonchar and kill him before he starts spreading the plans of how they're going to invade Naboo.
Weakest link.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Must
yeah,
kill
and
him.
it's pretty cool. Like when they when the book goes into Darth Maul's introduction, he's basically in this training facility with these 4 droids that have been programmed with the 12 deadliest martial arts, and usually they're programmed to not kill, but of course Maul takes that programming out of it. And he does this crazy fight scene with these 4 droids. One of them has a rapier, the other one has chains, another one has dual double-edged sword arms, and the other one's a cudgel, which I guess is like a type of mace. I had to look that up.
Anything blunt.
Yeah, yeah,
I believe what cudgel means. This is something you fucking smack people with.
yeah. So Maul, he's fighting these guys. First, he's taking on the droids that have the rapier and the cudgel. The rapier basically lunges at Maul. Maul, of course, jukes him out and drops to his knees and basically cuts his legs out from under him. So I mean, that's just pretty badass right there. He has to duck out of the way because then the cudgel comes and just barely misses his head. And basically, he just does a quick spin 1-2, and then like shish kebabs both of them. Bam, bam, just spears them both. Let's see what's up next. The chains droid is up next. He charges at Maul, basically swinging the chains over his head like a helicopter. Maul again drops to a squat and cuts the droid's legs off, and then launches him up vertically with a big old cut up in the air. So he takes him. That's how he takes out the chains guy. And then the double machete boy comes in, just basically just spamming defense moves because he just saw these three droids just get hacked up. Yeah, yeah. This time Maul loves to do level changes in his fights. I mean, all three of these droids he's taken out so far, he's done level changes on, and of course with the machete boy, he does the same thing. Drops where'd it go? I'm sorry. This is my first time.
It's all good.
Yeah, spamming the defense moves. Okay, then Maul turns off his saber and kicks it away on this last guy. Turns off his lightsaber, kicks it away, and basically goes hand to hand with this guy, with the droid. Does some low spinning kick, and then does some giant backflip in the air, and then lands with a double heel strike into this droid's skull. Just completely just taking them all out. Talks about how he didn't even break a sweat. His heart rate barely went up 5 beats per minute from the original. Yeah, so it really sets the tone of just how strong Darth Maul is and just how committed he is to his art of being an assassin, essentially. One part at the end, one of the final lines, that just talks about, Maul's doing his narration in his head, just basically saying that failure is not even an option, not even a concept for this, or a concept to him.
Yeah.
So that was chapter one. Chapter two, we're now on Coruscant, which is my least favorite planet. It's just kind of
just a bunch of buildings.
Really it's just a bunch of buildings. It reminds me of New York or
Space New York. Yeah.
New York planet.
Yeah. Here we're going to meet 4 different people. Lauren Pavan, who's kind of like a data broker in Star Wars now. He's got his droid I5YQ. He's going to meet up with this guy Zippa Toydarian, who's got a bodyguard named Bilk, who's a Gamorrean. So for anybody who doesn't know, the Toydarians are like the Watto, that guy that had Anakin and Shmi as slaves.
Yeah.
That's that race. Gamorreans are like the green pig looking things. So Lauren, he goes to meet Zippa to buy a holocron. And during this meeting, Lauren Pavan asks for some sort of like proof that it actually is, a Jedi holocron. And what I thought was interesting is Zippa kind of made a joke about him being skeptical. Why do you even want this holocron? It's like, what are you, some sort of Jedi? Only a Jedi can use it. And that just set Lauren Pavan off and basically threatened to kill Zippa right there. So they calm each other down, talk it through, and they agree on a price for the holocron. And Zippa pulls a fast one, basically taking the holocron and the money. He makes his getaway out. His bodyguard is still there. The droid I59Q or I5YQ does this sound blaring alarm that just makes the Gamorrean drop to his knees, drops his blaster, and they pick it up and shoot him, make their way out of there, and now they're out basically 15 grand, 12, 15 grand, whatever they agreed to buy the holocron for, and the holocron's gone. So now they got to go on a hunt to find him.
So the broker dude got killed?
The bodyguard. The bodyguard
Bodyguard.
was the Gamorrean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Green Pig Barbecue.
yeah.
Wonder
And I
what
guess
type
that
of
guy really stinks.
wonder what type of sound they use to like paralyze him. Because I mean that's
It was like from what they described in the book, it was like a high pitched
almost like a dog
smoke
whistle.
alarm sound. Yeah.
Like the sound from scanners, I'm guessing.
I haven't seen it,
But
but yeah. So when they were sorry, I'm taking my jacket off. Yeah. So when they were doing the negotiations, Lord Pavon had his hands up in the air once Zippa was trying to pull a fast one. Zippa, when he gets out, that's when the droid, he makes a comment saying like, "Oh, this is so frustrating. It makes me want to scream," and does that high pitched noise. Lord Pavon still has his hands up in the air, quickly covers his ears. The Gamorrean didn't have time to react, so he's hunched over in pain, drops his gun, and then that's when Pavon picks it up and blasts him. They go chasing after Zippa. Zippa got away, and that's how chapter 2 ends. Chapter 3 is we are in the Jedi Council with Darsha Asant, who is like a Padawan under Anun Bandara. So Bandara is a Twi'lek. Darsha Asant is an orphan, a human orphan that Bandara found on Alderaan. So that was good that Bandara took her out of Alderaan, because we know how that ends up.
yeah.
So they're in the Jedi Council, and they're giving Darsha Asant the final task mission that she has to do to become a Jedi Knight. And it's Mace Windu that gives her the assignment to go to the Crimson Corridor and find a former member of the BlackRock criminal group to bring back for protection in exchange for information about the higher ups in the what was it? Did I say BlackRock? It's close enough. Black Sun, excuse me, Black Sun, not BlackRock.
Oh,
BlackRock,
the underground.
yeah,
Black Sun, yes.
yeah, Black Sun, BlackRock. I'm sure they're both equally evil. But yeah, so that's the assignment that Mace Windu gives to Darsha Asant. She has to go escort this guy back to for Jedi protection in exchange for information about this, criminal organization.
Black
She's
Sun.
she's super stoked about it. She's in the meeting basically saying like, "Oh, I guarantee I'm not going to let you down," but she's the only one that doesn't know how serious of a mission this is, because when Bandara and Darsha Asant leave, she sees that Bandara is kind of like worried about this assignment because of how dangerous it is. And now, Darsha Asant's bubble's kind of going to get burst a little bit here. But she's still committed. She's going to go do it. Yeah, so they end up leaving there. Next, we are still in Coruscant with Darth Maul. He lands on Coruscant in this ship called the Infiltrator that Sidious gave him. He lands. He's in Coruscant looking for Half Monchar and anybody who knows what the plans are that Palpatine's doing. Maul ends up riding his speeder bike all crazy through the city. He gets chased by a couple of droids, police droids. Of course, he gets away. One thing that I thought was pretty cool was they talked about his stripped down speeder bike going through the city, and he has to change his thrust vectoring to drop down the traffic to get below the fog layer. And when they said that he had thrust vectoring, I thought that was pretty cool, because that's what like our F-22s have. It's pretty interesting. Even Star Wars has that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, he ends up he ditches the police droids. He gets to the Coruscant Customs Bureau outpost and goes to like their data center looking for anything that could point him in the right direction to find Half Monchar. He ends up hacking into the security footage, finds Half Monchar walking into a tavern that's close by, and Maul leaves and goes to find him. So that's the first 3 chapters. We're introduced to Palpatine, the Nemoidians, Darsha Asant, Noon Bandara, Lorne Pavan, his droid I5YQ, and Zippa. So we have Maul trying to find Hath Monchar, and we have Lorne Pavan trying to get his hands on this holocron, and we have Darsha Asant that has to go find Hath Monchar. So that is where we are at with this one.
Oh yeah. What I don't get is like why didn't Sidious have Maul already on like the freighter, like they're with them, so when they're all in the room, like he's like the background presence in case they try anything, and then Maul can just kill him if he needed to.
Yeah.
I mean, like that. I feel like that would have been more. That would have helped them not have to hunt down the one dude. But I guess it makes more of a story, chasing and worrying about their plans being uncovered, giving it more depth and stuff. Because I mean, if he was there in that room, I guarantee. Yeah.
Why wasn't he there? Where is he at?
Who knows? Well, I guess I can go next. I am reading the Thrawn trilogy, but I'm in the middle. I'm in the second book, and I'm quite a few chapters in. So when we decided to start the podcast, so I didn't start at the beginning, but I'm on Dark Forces Rising, which is it's so far it's okay. I don't mind. I get excited when the chapter starts. Luke landed his ship. And I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be cool because lightsabers, Force, something cool. I don't mind the like the Lando and Han side adventures, and then like Leia, being there for a little bit and coming back, back and forth. So like basically your first book, Heir to the Empire, it really just kind of sets the story. I think it takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And basically they're just chilling on Coruscant, and Luke's having trouble trying to figure out how he's going to start up a Jedi order, because I mean he's got nobody to turn to. Yoda's dead, Obi-Wan's dead, and they kind of don't come back to him as Force ghosts anymore. I think Ben actually says goodbye to him in like a dream, and that's what how the book I think starts. And he wakes up and he's like sitting on top of the building kind of by himself. And what I really like about it is how they introduce hot chocolate into Star Wars. Like, you think of a galaxy far, far away, they're probably drinking some purple fucking fizzy space drink. No, homie's sitting on top of a roof. Instead of having, like a beer or something, he's just drinking some hot chocolate. And Lando is the one who.
What planet is he on drinking hot chocolate?
Coruscant.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on like one of the.
Something like Tatooine or something. It's too hot for hot chocolate there.
Yeah. Then you go through the book and stuff, and they have a few battles and stuff. I'll maybe do something about that book later. I'll do like some notes on that one, but yeah, recap it. But the one I'm on, Dark Forces Rising. Let's see. I'm on chapter 10. So, so there's this race called the Nagori. They're from like the outer. I don't know if I would say they're more like borderline unknown region and outer region, because they know of the Empire and they know their way around our galaxy and stuff, but we don't know where their planet is. And in this chapter, it kind of starts out with Leia, C-3PO, and Chewie being on. I'm gonna butcher his name because these names are fucking just weird.
Please do.
Kabarek's ship. It's like Khabarakh.
Yeah, sure.
Kabarak.
Whatever.
He's one of the Nagori, but he was one in the previous book that was chasing Leia and Luke and was trying to capture them and stuff for Thrawn. because basically their people's ruled by the Empire, or they were, I wouldn't say ruled, they were saved, so they're in debt to the Empire. And I'll explain it more in this next chapter, because they kind of give a background of why they serve the Empire. But this chapter basically starts with them all aboard his ship going to his home world. So that way they don't have directions to their planet and they can just show up whenever they want. He's kind of sticking his neck out, and it may or may not backfire and get him killed. But basically they're flying on his ship. Him and Chewie got into it, and basically this dude put Chewie in a headlock and just like choked him the fuck out. Or did something. He like pushed him somewhere or did something and just dropped him like a sack of potatoes.
Who's grabbing Chewie?
The Kabarnish?
The Kabagaba?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Carbar.
Carbar.
Carbar. He grabs him, puts him to sleep.
How big is this guy?
They are small.
I want to say he's probably bigger than the average human, but smaller than a Wookiee.
Okay.
Are they bigger? Are they?
Nagri are smaller.
They're smaller.
Trying to Google
Well,
it.
he is trained by the Empire as a commando,
No, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
so that's why he's like got cool moves. I haven't looked one up to see what they look like.
I have a lot. I've read these books a long time ago. Also, I don't know how you pronounce it. I say Nagri.
Nagri. Yeah, in
Whatever.
Star Wars, pronunciation is whatever you think it is.
And that's what I'm saying. Just so, like, in the future, when we're talking about this, you're not sitting, who the fuck is he talking about? Because, like, I'll forget and just say Nagri. But they are a little bit shorter than Luke as, like,
Yeah,
a species.
and they're like a steel gray color. They're like your typical alien description: black eyes, freaking
Okay.
gray skin.
Get us a picture if we would like a picture.
But so basically, he takes Leia and all them to their his home world, and so they're flying in, and he has to land. He decides not to land at the normal landing station that they always do. He kind of lands over by their little huts, and Leia's all kind of concerned, like, is this normal? And he's like, nope. He's nope,
Nope.
not at all.
Sure.
So they go over there and land, and Carbar takes Leia and C-3PO to meet basically like their family's chieftain, and it's like she's like a woman of their tribe, and I think her name is like Matakar. It's Maitrrakh. Matakar. I don't know. But she, so he takes her to go meet her, so that way she can kind of try to convince them to leave the Empire and join the New Republic and all this and that. And she wants to know why they serve Thrawn and the Empire, and she's just I guess they have like sub clans, so like they're in like a small little city because their whole world's destroyed. It was ravaged by war, and they made it to like this old temple thing, and like kind of was able to survive there until the Empire showed up and kind of helped them. But they basically all grouped together, and it was different factions that they all hated each other, but they had to come together to survive, otherwise they'd be extinct. So there's like sub clans, and each sub clan has, I guess, like their own chieftain, and then their chieftain answers to whoever's in charge of the Empire, or their leader, which at the time they were ruled by, or they called him Lord Vader. Well, obviously he's Lord Vader, but they referred to him as Lord Vader because he was the one that saved him and the Emperor. But they always referred to Lord Vader. They preferred him more, which is weird because You think about Vader, you don't think about someone who's going to save a race. You know what I mean?
Right.
You think of a dude who's just going to mop the floor with them.
So that was always one of the things I would like to, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
stop and ask a question. This is an overall Star Wars thing. I always used to like Vader before canon was rewritten and stuff was changed, which a lot of the stuff they've done with Vader lately has been cool, and I'm not saying is bad. But a lot of the older stuff with Vader was Vader had a lot of fucking guilt, and he never got rid of it, and that would end up being a lot of what I see. There's good left in him. I see it. That whole thing. Because at least in Legends, all the time, Vader has a history of he will find the underdog somewhere on a planet doing something, and for some fucking reason, like crash land and be stranded there with no way of getting to the Empire, and will run into one of the natives, and they'll help him out. And then the Empire will show up and be like, cool, well, we're going to process the planet, kill everything, take all the resources, turn everybody into slaves. And he'll be like, they're under my protection. And like basically tell whoever to forget you found this place and move on. So like you end up with, cool secret.
Like the Nagori and stuff.
Yeah, like that, because Vader kind of showed up, and I've always thought he felt bad for something he did. And then you watch, and we talked about how I don't find a lot in the prequels, but I found something here. I think it's because of the Sand People.
Yeah.
I think he fucking raged out and did
I know.
that. I think he felt bad for it for the rest of his fucking life. And like every time he ran into somebody that was in that situation was like, I am not going to do the thing.
I bet he definitely felt bad about killing the children. You know what I mean? For sure. Like, because they really didn't do anything. But I feel like it's, Vader has like a hatred for slavery, like, because he was a slave.
He was a slave.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I like about Vader is like, he doesn't like slavery, doesn't want anything to do with any of that, and gets pissed off when people, mention shit like that, and I think it's kind of cool, but but that's what they refer to him as, is their lord. Because what he does is in the next chapter, when Leia's talking to Matakar, the chieftain lady, she's explaining how there was a war of the gods is what she calls it, above them. And basically, they're all standing down there looking up, and it's just explosions and lightning and shit and the ground shaking and stuff. And, they think of it as sky gods angry, fighting and all that. And she says one day, the loud booms and thunders just stop, but then a ship crashes into the planet and lets out this toxin, and it just poisons the whole planet and damn near kills like the entire race, which is crazy. It's like, I wonder what fucking ship had that kind of that on it. You know what I mean? It is in the middle of a battle. You know what I mean? I don't know, but Leia's sitting there thinking about it, and she's thinking it was an Imperial Star Destroyer versus, a rebel ship, and she thinks that they're responsible for the destruction of their world. And they didn't really explain what the crash ship was. They just said a crash ship. So, I mean, it could have just been anything. It may not have been the rebels, but, somebody battling the Empire. That's the first thing that comes into her mind is, oh, that's, what we've been doing for years. So she feels a little guilty about it. And when the planet's poisoned, they're all running to the temple area. And that's when the Empire kind of shows up and helps them. Like, they offer droids that clean the land and stuff to make it to where it's not toxic, so they can grow food and have fresh water. But it's enough to keep them alive. But in return, the Empire wants their strongest, fittest men to join their commandos. Basically, if I'm going to keep you alive, you're going to be of use to me. I'm not doing it to be a bad guy. It's just, you're going to pay me back. But at the same time, they are a bad guy. It's the Empire. So it's one of those things, I put food in your hand. You're going to, you're going to fight for me.
You got to earn your keep.
pretty much. And that's one thing is they have just enough to sustain them, but not enough to, like, if they decided to overthrow the empire and not work for them. The I guess apparently they've had differences with the empire before, and Thrawn threatens to just remind them of their place. You know, he's like, he was talking to the chieftain, and about if there's any people that shouldn't be here and stuff, because he comes down to visit with Pelion. Pelion is basically what is he? He's like the
Admiral.
Yeah, I think he's the admiral of that ship, because Thrawn is the Grand Admiral, and he's like above all of them right now.
Yeah. But Pelion's an admiral.
Pelion's like his right hand. They're like the best of buds, and he always questions Thrawn. And of course, Thrawn being a battle tactician, and he was, for Sidious hated aliens. Like, he was a huge alien racist, and he actually sought out Thrawn and wanted him to join his empire, and had him join and made him work his way up to Grand Admiral. In a way, I mean, he's one of the few exceptions that Sidious was okay with.
Yeah.
And
well, most look like us with weird colored skin.
Yeah, you're blue with fucking bright red eyes. They throw a little feast for Thrawn when they come down later on, because they have to. Yeah, because of course when they show up to the planet, the Empire's there magically, and it happened to be Thrawn as well. And so he notices the ship didn't land where it normally lands, and he asked Pelion, like, who is that? And he's like, oh, that's Kabar or whatever. He's the one that we sent on the mission, and he's been gone for like a month because he was held prisoner on Kashyyyk and stuff after he failed his mission. And it's kind of hard being this far into the book and not at the beginning, because there's stuff I'm missing. Basically, he got captured. He got captured. The rest of his squad got killed on Kashyyyk when they tried to abduct Leia, is the best way to sum that up. And he offers to take Leia to their homeworld to meet their chieftain, to try to, like, see if she can make the situation better for them. Because what's weird is he can smell her, and by smelling her, he knows that she is the daughter of Darth Vader, which is fucking weird. He just knows by scent, I guess. And I think that's kind of cool, but it's like, that's a weird ability, It's like, I can tell that's your offspring by the smell of you. But flash forward to where they're on the actual planet now, and Leia's with the chieftain lady, so they have to hide him because Thrawn's coming. So they hide her and Chewie in this like meat cellar that produces heat, so that way their scanners can't scan their body, because I guess they have a different heat level than humans and other things. Like the Nagori are more like cold-blooded reptile-ish, I guess. And it's they're trying to like hide him from Thrawn, and I think they took C-3PO out to a shed and turned him off or something, so they couldn't pick him up on their scanners. And they're kind of just,
it's interesting that they would have like a meat cellar that's warm. Like, how
well,
do you keep the meat?
It's I guess it's under a bakery. They're in a meat cellar under their like bakery thing, so it like conceals their heat.
Under a hot spot.
Kinda, it's like a storage room under a hot spot.
Okay.
So it's a way to conceal their heat, because that's where they cook all their food, and there's always a fire going, I guess, or whatever they use.
Dried meats.
Yes, in there with the dried meats. But so they throw a little thing for Thrawn when he lands down, because he's their new leader, since Vader told him, hey, when I'm not around, he's in charge, and obviously Vader's not going to be around because he's dead. So Thrawn's in charge, and they're all greeting him and stuff, and he questions Kabar about why he didn't land at his normal deal. And he says, "Oh, I'm having ship problems." And he's like, "Well, if you're having ship problems, why didn't you land there and have our technicians look at it?" And he's like, "I was just in a hurry, wanting to get home," kind of thing. And he's like, "Well," he's like, "good thing I brought, some uh, tech support with me, basically." He's like, "They're going to go take your ship, take it back up to my ship and have it, you know, repaired and everything for you." And, he's like, "Okay, thanks." And, because I guess Chewie sabotaged the ship when they landed to make it actually look like there was a problem with it. And then they take his ship up and stuff. They have their little dance thing and they do their celebratory stuff. And Thrawn leaves. And as he's leaving, he's talking with Pelion about how he doesn't trust Kabar. He knows he's lying. He says, "Scan the ship for any other signs of life, any hair. If the ship's been sabotaged and we know 100% sure that it's sabotaged, let me know, and this kind of stuff, we'll deal with it." And so they leave for the night and they go away. And the next chapter kind of starts with like Leia's just laying there. Oh, actually, I skipped a chapter. Sorry. So go back. Then the next chapter is Han and Lando. So Han and Lando and Luke were on this planet, New Kavar, something like that. It's got like a weird name, but it was the chapter before chapter 10. So, in this chapter, they're kind of separated. Luke's not with them anymore. It's just Han and Lando, and they're on Lando's ship called the Lady Luck, and they've been, I guess, on this ship for a couple days. Well, their ship is sitting inside the hangar bay of a dreadnought that saved them from the Star Destroyer that was like trying to attack them and stuff on that planet when Luke and them kind of split and went their different ways. And so him and Lando are kind of talking, how long we've been here, a couple days. And then they got them under like lockdown in the hangar bay until, they feel like they're able to let them kind of wander around the ship. And they kind of get bored and stuff, and they kind of go to get off the ship. But as they do it, there's this lady, Cena, I think is her name. She's the one that met them on that planet and helped them with their escape. And she's taking them to her boss, who apparently knows Han, but Han has no idea who the hell he is. And so they're just kind of like walking around talking out. And now they're out of the Lady Luck. They're just walking around the room talking. And I guess they're going to Paragonus Nest is, I guess, what their base is called. I don't know if that's the name of the planet. I don't think they really say what the name of the planet is, because it's supposed to be like a secret base. And so they go there and they land and everything, and they're all taking a little ride to the bunker. And it's got the same cannon that they had on Hoth that shot the Star Destroyers. They look like the big boob with the big old cannon on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was like more hidden, I guess. They had one of those. And so they go into the base, and she separates Han and Lando, has Han go into the room. The boss is in there, and she waits outside with Lando. And Lando, of course, I got a bad feeling about this, kind of thing, corny Star Wars.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So Han goes in there and he's talking, or he goes in there, and it turns out the guy is Senator Bell Oblis, who I guess was like one of the senators that would rival Palpatine in the chamber, like when they would hold council meetings or whatever.
Right.
And everybody thought he was dead apparently, because Palpatine had his like what was it?
Family mutilated.
Well, like I think it was I think he was on a ship or something, and they thought they killed him. Palpatine had killed him and stuff, and he just went into hiding after that and started building his own, like, basically mini rebellion in a way of mercenaries and stuff. And it was pretty cool. So they talk a little bit. He remembers Han when Han was a kid on Corellia in school, and they're like kind of talking and stuff, and he remembers Han asked him a question that just seemed too smart for a kid his age, you know. And I don't think, yeah, I don't think I didn't write down what question he asked him. Of course, I don't remember if they had the question in the book, but it was something that caught his attention and made him keep an eye on that kid, because he was more outspoken and than the rest of them and stuff. You know, basically just how Han is, you know, a rebel in a way, you know.
You can tell when someone's a thinker.
Yeah, not a follower, yeah. And it was kind of cool, and he's like, you know, I'm going to ask you some questions, and when or he's talking to Han. He's like, you're going to ask me questions, you know, I'm going to answer them. He says, but then I'm going to ask you questions, and you know, you're going to answer them. And they're kind of talking and stuff. And then the chapter kind of switches over to Thrawn and Pelion talking on aboard the Thrawn ship. His ship is Thrawn's ship is called the Chimera, which is just a fucking cool name, I think, for a Star Destroyer. But they're on board talking to I'm sorry. They're talking in Thrawn's command room, him and Pelion. And Thrawn calls the captain of this ship called the Relentless. His name is Dorja. He sent Thrawn a hologram of those 3 dreadnoughts. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is another starship. Sorry, I should have put Star Destroyer. He got a contact message from the Relentless that's a Star Destroyer, and he sent Thrawn a hologram of those 3 dreadnoughts that came in and helped Luke, Han, and Lando. And so they think that's interesting, because it's like, where did somebody just get 3 random dreadnoughts? You know what I mean? Like, they're big ass ships, you know. And they're kind of just, you know, a little in awe. And that planet that Han, Lando, and Luke were on was New Cove. I did write down the name. So they're talking for a little while, you know, trying to figure out, you know, who the fuck's got dreadnoughts just out of nowhere. And so Dorja on that, who's the Imperial guy, he captured a Captain Frerer. He's like a master ship thief, and you get introduced to him earlier on in the book. I think it's either at the beginning of this book or at the end of the first book, because it's like Luke and Lando are like chasing him down on this space station, because the Lando recognizes him and knows who he is and wonders why he's there. And of course, you know, it being a ship construction yard, he's obviously there to steal ships, so that's why Lando starts chasing him. He basically just tells Frere that you're going to work for me. You're going to find these dreadnoughts and steal them for me. And if you don't, I'm going to kill you and your whole crew. I'm going to blow your ship up. He gives them, he impounds their ship and gives them a ship of their own. Like Thrawn gives them a ship and basically says, there's a bomb on here. He's like, we're tracking you and, you know, stuff like that. If you try anything sketchy, I'll kill you. You try to turn on us, I'll kill you. You know, you abandon the ship, we'll find you and kill you. He's like, you're going to...
Reminds me of Gone in 60 Seconds. You got to go steal all these cars, I'm going to kill your brother.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like... And, you know, they're basically just telling him, you want your ship back? Go steal these 3 ships. You can have your ship and some money, and you're free to go. He's like, I'm going to pay you handsomely. And of course, you know, him being a thief, he's like, at first he's a little scared. You know, I mean, it's Thrawn. You know, so. This dude is like the most, like one of the best tacticianers, like of war. Like he loved Anakin because of the way he like thought in battle and shit like that. He was a big admirer of Anakin, and and he secretly knew that Vader was Anakin, but he never ever said he knew he was, but he knew, which is kind of cool. It was like a respect thing. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool hearing that one time, but
He was smart enough to know. He didn't
basically,
know.
yeah, to not
But-
say something to get himself strangled. So then they kind of go on about their deal. He agrees to it, and then the chapter just kind of ends. So then the final chapter I'm on, chapter what is it? 13. It just cuts back over to Leia, and she's kind of she like kind of wakes up in the little storage room. She's all hungry. And what I really liked about this is like how, you know, she's pregnant with the twins, and that it brings a realism to it. Cause I mean, she's like hungry, and the kid lets her know by kicking the shit out of her, you know, inside of her. She's like, okay, I'm gonna eat something. And then she eats and gets dressed and kind of goes out, and she's walking around, and she sees, you know, like the little Nagori kids playing ball, and um they're just like kicking a little ball and stuff and talking in their own language. And I like how she describes them as like a lighter color than the adults and stuff, and she's wondering if maybe there's like different like what was it, like sub races or something like that, where they were maybe slightly different colors, shades of gray, because one was like more of a darker gray, one was more like a lighter gray, greenish gray. It was just kind of cool. But she ends up going to meet the Makari in their little like temple building, and they're talking, and she basically is just explaining the rules and stuff and how they ended up serving the Empire and all that. And out of nowhere, when they're talking, they hear loud ship engines, and then that's when they realize that Thrawn's coming back. And they're like, oh, you know, oh shit, what are we gonna do? You know, because she's like thinking about cutting a hole in the back of the building, and crawling out and running and hiding again. But then she hears bombers flying over, and she's like, well, fuck, I can't do that. So she goes and like wants to like hide in this like, I don't know how they just, it reminds me of like a closet, I guess is the best way to describe it. Her and Chewie hide in there, and then she's like, you know, sitting there, and or as they're running to it, she hears C-3PO talking, and she's like, oh shit, I forgot about him. You know, like, what are we gonna do? Because there's not enough room for her and Chewie inside the deal.
Like 3 chapters ago, you said
And
they fucking turned him off and hit him
yeah,
somewhere.
well,
Fucking left.
I forgot they turned him on in the morning, and he was like in there like telling the kids about Darth Vader and stuff, because he can speak some of their language. He learned some along the way, and that's when she freaks out. She's like, oh shit, he's just standing in the middle of the room, you know. And Thrawn's coming, and she's like, what the fuck do we do? And they're all looking around, and there's a dish up top that looks like space, but it's, I guess, more like a bowl. And so Chewbacca just runs over and grabs him, and she tells him to basically take him up there and like turn him off. And he's like climbing up a pole, and C-3PO's, you know, just freaking the fuck out, like, put me down, what are you doing? You know.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, and he gets up there, and he like basically turns him off and just fucking chunks him into the bowl. And then jumps down, meets Leia at the bookcase and hides. And then like 2-3 seconds later, Thrawn just bursts through the door. I mean, it was by like a hair, and it was wild. It was it was funny. And so he, you know, comes in, and he's like, you know, we did a scan of your son's ship and stuff, and you know, it looks like it malfunctioned normally, because the way Chewie set it up, it didn't look like anybody had tampered with it, like it was just a malfunction on its own. He says, but we picked up a large amount of Wookiee hair. aboard the ship. And, they're like, for somebody who said, once his team was defeated, because what he had told Thrawn was when his team was defeated, that he went and meditated for a month, just to collect himself and kind of, uh, after his defeat, with his friends were dead, his comrades were dead. And Thrawn, that's why Thrawn didn't believe him. And now that there was a bunch of Wookiee hair on his ship, he really doesn't believe him. And he, he's like, I'm going to go ahead and take your son, and we're going to arrest him. He's going to come with us, and we're going to interrogate him further. Like whether they interrogate him like they did Han on Cloud City or not, kind of thing. Of course his mom, which is the Matakar, the clan leader, tries to stand up and say, you can't take my son. We have our own set of rules and stuff like that. He basically just tells her, I'm in charge of you all. You can shut the fuck up and sit down, or I will show you the full power of the Empire and basically just wipe you all out. He's like, I don't really need you. He's like, you're just a tool, reminding them of their place, And I thought that was so cool because it was the first time you get to really see him like kind of angry, because he's a really well kept, collected kind of character. And this is like the first time you see like a little bit of like, watch your tone or I'm going to fucking, wipe out your family. Like, know your place.
In a way.
Yeah. He's very like a British officer. Like on a pirate, like how you would see on a pirate ship with like their hands behind their back, just
Okay,
very,
gotcha.
yeah, full of themselves. And he,
Carries himself with an
oh,
air of command.
but the thing is homie can back it up. That's the thing, is that motherfucker is super smart, and he knows Leia and Chewie and them are there, but he doesn't know that they're in like the little case, but he knows they're on the planet. So he takes him, gets back in his ship, and flies away. And Leia's comes out of the closet, and she's all talking with her. She's like talking with the Matakar and basically just telling her, hey, I made a mistake coming here. I got your son in trouble. We should probably try to find a way to leave so that way he doesn't get killed for bringing us here. Because if we're not here, then he can't do anything because he can't prove it. And that's where the chapter ends. So those are my 4 chapters. I did miss a couple little things. I'm nervous. This is my first time, so.
Oh yeah, me too.
And my
I'm
notes,
through my notes right now.
my notes are all fucked up, and it also kind of sucks being like 10 chapters already into a book, into the second book of a trilogy. So I'm like,
right.
At least with the next set of chapters,
scenario for a test run,
yeah. So like with the next video we do, I should be more comfortable, have my notes better prepared, and at least if people want, they can go back and look at this video and be like, okay, so he's here, and then kind of that. But that's all I really have for my book. Nothing too crazy.
So did you say Leia was pregnant with twins?
Yes. So this trilogy,
so she was a twin and is having twins.
Yep.
And her kid is Kylo Ren Ben Solo, right? No.
This is Legends. So this is so basically, the sequel trilogy pretend it does not exist.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
So, but he is Jason Solo. And what's the other one?
Jaina.
So it's Jaina and Jason Solo. And what's funny is Luke Skywalker has a kid called Ben Skywalker. So they literally just took Ben's name and gave us Kylo Ren, which was Ben Solo.
And Ben and Leia have a third after the twins, when the twins are like 9, and oopsie happens because mom and dad take a vacation, and they name that one Anakin.
That's right. Oh, no. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Solo. And he's the baby of the family, and he's the most powerful.
Of course.
Except Ben Skywalker. Ben Skywalker and Anakin Solo are...
Huh.
Well, Alex, I believe it is your turn, my friend.
So all that stuff that you guys just asked. My book, Vector Prime, I don't have it with me, but it's by R.A. Salvatore. It's pretty good. It takes place, I want to say, 17 years after Battle of Yavin, so it's about a decade after the books that Zach is reading. No, it's further than that, because instead of being pregnant, Leia has 2 kids. They are both 16, and they are both Jedi Padawans. The book begins with former head of state Leia Organa Solo. That's right. She used to run the fucking New Republic and then retired and became their chief diplomat. They send this bitch everywhere to do everything because it's Leia. She can get anything done. At this point in her life and on the timeline, she has done some Jedi training, not completed, but has some. She is aware of the Force. She can use the Force. She has a lightsaber.
Yeah, because she's only had like a year training, I think, in my book, like a year or two.
I think like a knight is technically where she's guild level at, but she's mostly a diplomat. With every now and then, I can whip out a lightsaber and fight somebody. Her Jedi protection detail is her sister-in-law, Mara Jade, or Mara Jade Skywalker, who married Luke. And Mara Jade has taken her niece, Jaina Solo, as her Padawan. So the book begins in a shuttle with C-3PO, Leia, Mara Jade, and Jaina, all flying to a place called Ramamul, because they have a weird binary planetary system where these planets come real close to each other occasionally, and they're both populated with sentient life that are both spacefaring, and they don't like each other. So basically, they're gearing up to have like interorbital planetary war, and Leia has been sent to get them both to calm the fuck down. And the planet she's going to land on is Ramamul, and the other planet in the system is Osarian. And when she flies into the system, the first thing that happens is they get contacted by the Osarians going, hey, we have slightly better tech than the Ramamulians, and we have like space fighters out waiting for you, and they're going to escort you to our capital, and we're going to like feast and talk, and it's going to be great. And Leia's like, no, I already informed you guys of my itinerary. I'm going to go to Ramamul and talk with their guy, and then I'm going to come talk with you. And the space fighter guys kind of reveal that this is not so much an invitation or a request. Like, and target lock the shuttle and are like, we're going to go to the capital now. And Mara laughs and leans back because she was piloting, and then looks at her niece Jaina and goes, why don't you do this one? And Jaina is nothing if not almost a carbon copy of her father. So we get some badass space flying from Jaina, flying this old tub of a fucking shuttle and outrunning Z-95 headhunters that are fully armed and firing torpedoes and shooting lasers at her and shit. And she's dodging and having a great time. Mara and Leia are trying not to vomit because she flies like a bat out of hell. While she's doing that, I forget the name of the ship. I want to say it's the Interpreter or the Interceptor. It's not a Star Destroyer. It's a Mon Cal cruiser, because this is the era of the New Republic, so we don't have the big cheese wedge of doom anymore. We've got the long little bubbly string. And it has another Jedi stationed on it with, and Zach and I talked about this, the single most fucking disposable name I've ever heard in my life. Jedi Knight Worth Skitter.
Worth Skitter.
Worth Skitter.
It's unfortunate.
Oh my god, it's awful. Well, he shows up on the scene in his brand new top of the line, just issued this book. God, what? It's like an X6E. It's an X-Wing, but it's the new fucking hotness that just came out. And he flies in and just starts blowing the holy fucking shit out of these Z-95s, which at this point is revealed to be like somebody flying a fucking P-51 Mustang against an F-14, is basically what's going down.
Okay.
Yeah, and the F-14 is just, the X-wing is just mopping the fucking floor with these guys, and he's having a really good time doing it. And he runs a bunch of them off, and they go land on the ship. And this is where I have my first issue with R.A. Salvatore's characterization of Leia, because the way that they really present Leia in Legends and how I've always preferred her is that she is just as powerful in the Force as Luke and is just as capable, but she's nowhere near as trained because she doesn't want to be. She's afraid of the Force. She's afraid that if she gets too powerful and becomes too reliant on it, that she will end up being her father. So she goes like, I'll learn enough to keep myself in control and to recognize the dangers of like what I'm doing and keep myself from falling to the dark side, but I will not become a master. I'm not trying to be on the council. I'm not trying to do this whole Jedi thing. I want to go have my own life. And she sticks with the whole politics thing. She's really fucking good. She's really fucking good. And at this point in the timeline, when she's got like a decade of Jedi training on her, she's even better. And she becomes one of those people that like you just can't catch flat-footed in a conversation or surprise or outthink, because she's just so ready and so balanced and so open and thinks so far ahead. And so they land on the ship, and Worth Skitter comes over and he was like, hey, I'm sorry I was late. We didn't know they were going to do that. And she just launches into this fucking, who the fuck are you, you pea-brained dick? Why are you letting your penis think for you? This is not how you be a Jedi Knight. You just fucking ruined everything. I'm going to have to spend days and days and days fixing your fucking bullshit. If you ever do shit like this again, I will call my brother, your boss, and have you fucking, like, penalized monetarily. And you know I can do it. And fucking Worth Skitter's just kind of like, cool, my bad, fuck you, and leaves. And like, I really don't agree with this characterization of Leia. This is fucking awful. If she had a problem with him when he walked up, she would have done some like Jedi psychology. Let's have a conversation that seems friendly and in no way critical, but I'm going to lead you to the inevitable conclusion that what you just did made my job harder. That would have been a much more Leia response. Instead, she just kind of like freaks the fuck out and just like yells at this kid and is like, if you ever do shit like that again, I'll call my brother. And so
I'll tell you, boss on you.
I found this to be a really mealy white person Karen interpretation of Leia, and I was like, okay.
It is very different from my version of Leia. Mine is very, what can I do to help? Stuff like that, and like, oh, I may have overstepped my bounds. Let me back up. Like she was with Montcar. Like, oh, maybe I should leave because me being here might put you guys in danger.
Yeah, like so, it's really weird.
But
characterization.
That version, your version of Leia, she's been doing it for like what, 40 years?
Well,
I mean, she because in Alderaan they're trained to be into the Senate as children.
How old is she in your book?
She's probably got to be like mid-20s, I'd imagine. Because it's 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and Luke was what 17 on A New Hope.
Yeah, but
so then there's a couple years in between. So I'd say they're probably like 25. I would roughly say somewhere around there.
She's 40, pushing 40.
So, I mean, she's got quite a bit of, being a politician behind her.
Well, and the other thing is, and I will give it time, is I'm only 4.5 chapters in. So there's like 28, 27 chapters in this. Maybe we're going to find out that she's on edge and being bitchy because something is happening. We really haven't gotten there yet. This is kind of our first interaction with Leia and somebody else, and she lands on this big Mon Cal cruiser and just rips into this fucking Jedi, and Karen's all over him, and he just kind of like, cool, I'll avoid you for the rest of the time you're on the ship, sorry, and leaves. And then turns around, and my book takes place the year after Admiral Akbar retires. So we don't have "it's a trap" anymore. We have his grandson, who I cannot remember the name of.
It's probably Akbar something. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if that's his last name or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say say, like, I can't remember his full name, but he's an Akbar. He's the grandson of It's a Trap. That's the whole thing. But he's kind of new to command, and he's got the training and the pedigree. You can tell, like, his family is fucking royalty, effectively, in naval command, and he learned from them and is very good. But still, first time doing this shit. So he's a little green, and he's making some weird political choices and has some weird allies. He's not a bad guy, but I have trouble feeling like he's going to be as staunchly behind Leia and the Solos and the Skywalkers and everybody that are like our core cast as Admiral Akbar was, because he fought with them for so long and was like, no, these guys literally walk on water. I've seen it happen.
Admiral Akbar is a pretty good portion of my story as well. He's one of the reasons Han and Lando are out doing their adventure thing.
He's hailed as like Thrawn respects Akbar.
Oh yeah,
because Akbar is such a tactician and so very good at what he does, but he's kind of the antithesis of Thrawn. He plays extreme defense to Thrawn's weird ass offense.
Yeah.
Because Thrawn does shit like come in at you and then turn his Star Destroyer like this.
Yeah, he did that in I think like the first book. He like turned his ship at like an angle or some shit, and yeah, it was like, pretty cool. People were like, "What the fuck?"
Doing?
Yeah.
And then he turns back flat the other way, and I just got all my fighters out, and you didn't have a chance to shoot any of them.
Yeah.
So now here they are to come fuck you up, and it's like Thrawn does that shit, and Akbar figures out how to like, nah, it's cool. We're gonna turtle up, and it doesn't matter what they do; they can't break us. So they're very good.
Very yin and yang of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
But his grandson's running this cruiser and is a little new at it, but he's smart enough to kind of like watch what happens between Leia and the Jedi and just kind of go, yeah, that's above my pay grade. I'm just here to run the fucking ship and go where she tells me to go. She reveals what's been going down between Ramamul and Osarian, which is there's this new leader on the planet of Ramamul, which is a mining colony. There's dispute between both planets, who colonized who, but there's a belief that they're basically the same people kind of thing going on. And the miners have a new leader who is this guy named Nom Anor. Nomanor. Nom Anor. And he's this crazy Luddite anti-technology guy who has started this fucking cult that goes around and you're not allowed to use anything that like draws power or has artificial light or like screens or anything like that. Like you fucking ride a beast of the land. If you have to go somewhere so far your legs won't carry you. Like
he's a beast tamer.
Yeah, and like so the people have gone fucking nuts and they have torn down like all of their communications technology and all their like comfort items and like washing machines and cars and fucking automated doors and shit like that, and just anything that's fucking technology, and just destroyed it in the center of town. And the only thing they've kept are the nukes, effectively. They have some missiles. The other guys have some missiles. We're all going to shoot missiles at each other. And this crazy religious motherfucker over here on Ramamul is kind of agitating. Osarian is a much more like random chill Star Wars planet. Like they have speeders and cities and towns and farms and they're pretty normal and they just kind of want to like live their life. And there's this crazy religious dude who says he's going to come to their planet, destroy all their technology and kill anybody who doesn't want it that way. And they're not having that shit. And by the way, they have nukes. So we're having a thing. And
why doesn't he like technology? What's the issue with that?
Well, so this is the first chapter, and I'm giving you the brief overview of the things that they give you.
So we haven't got there yet.
We haven't gotten there yet. So this is why she's here. There's this conflict going on. She's got to figure out how to resolve. Somebody's kind of like, hey, why does he hate technology? She's like, nobody really knows. Some people think that it's actually just a ploy that he's using to whip up to get people like behind him. Other people think that maybe something bad like nobody knows.
I know. Okay. He lost his wife to a vibrator.
Oh boy. Inappropriate.
Her battery operated boyfriend says hello. Anyway, During the flight, Jaina noticed with her Jedi senses, even being the badass pilot she was and entirely focused on being fucking badass at it, noticed that Aunt Mara, who is pretty much the same way, was space sick and kind of like goes to check on her, and Mara's like, I'm fine. And Leia kind of overhears the exchange and has an internal kind of train of thought where we reveal, I don't know what book came before Vector Prime, but I do know one of the subplots was some of the new Jedi were literally dying, like just disintegrating into nothing, had space AIDS, just like this new virus that nobody had ever run into, and like it was not something anybody had ever seen. A lot of people thought it was artificial, but then people were like, it can't be artificial because nobody could like engineer this, yada yada. So there's this disease going around that affects only Force users, and it makes you literally like fucking dissolve into a puddle and die. And Mara has it.
Oh no.
And that's one of the main reveals of chapter 1 is that Mara has this, and everybody knows because she got diagnosed, and it is antithetical to her character to have anyone feel bad for her or pity her ever. It enrages her. So it's just one of those things that like Luke went around and went, my wife is dying of crazy space virus. You guys just don't talk about it with her, okay? Like it's what she wants is to just act like it's not there and it's not a part of her life, and she doesn't want to have to deal with it. And so we're just going to do that with her. They're all kind of like, I don't know that that's healthy, Luke. And he's like, shut up and do it. So we all have this kind of like, that's revealed through Leia's inner train of thought is that she knows that Jaina has this, or not Jaina, I'm sorry, Mara has this disease, and that nobody knows what it is or how to cure it, and she's really worried about her. But that if she said anything, that Mara would probably beat the shit out of her, so she's just not going to say anything about it. And we kind of stop there and hop still in chapter 1 to Ramamul and Namanor, and the vantage point is actually a 9PO. 93PO, I think was the name given in the chapter. It's a 9PO droid series, and it gets caught by some of the crazy cult members, and they drag it screaming down an alleyway. And then the next thing you see is Namanor checking himself out in the mirror, brushing off his shoulders and looking at his cape and going, I'm a bad motherfucker. Yeah, like just kind of looking around and stuff. And he has weird trains of thought that spark up every now and then about how he hates his face, but it's not really his face anyway. So,
Like he's wearing somebody's face.
Well, we move on, and nobody's seeming to act weird like he's got fucking bloody leather skin face. People just act like he's him. And he goes out and gives this speech and whips up all the fucking crowd and destroy the 9PO for me, and they just people fucking like biting fingers off of it and tearing it apart with brute force and like crushing it with like just beating this fucking droid to death. And it literally has a little aside again while it's happening where it is very thankful that it can't literally feel pain.
Oh my goodness, it sounds so sad.
That is dark.
It's awful. I feel so bad for this 9PO unit. Like, my homie.
Bro's just doing his job and got murked.
Yeah, just literally. So
Wow.
he watches all this happen, and while he's watching this happen, this is a book with a lot of heavy internal monologue. He watches all this happen and basically just goes, these fucking morons. And it's like these absolute shit-eating idiots. Like they don't get anything, and they're so stupid. And I am so much smarter than them. And I don't. This religion I made up is utter bullshit, and I don't care about any of it. I just want them to go fucking nuts and cause problems. And like that's his inner monologue, and you're just kind of like, huh? Do we have a Sith Lord amongst us? Because he's all weird, and he's got these fucking trains of thought that go places, but he's very charismatic, and outwardly he's very put together, and he makes a very fine leader and gets everybody motivated.
But he thinks he's surrounded by idiots.
Oh, he hates all of them. I'd murk them all just to do it, but they're useful right now. So like, I send them to go do stupid shit that I don't want to do.
Sounds like a bad guy.
Oh yeah, no, he's very clearly like the bad guy and very clearly playing a deeply personal, secretive game that only he is very aware of. Like he's fucking other people's interests up. He's got the attention of the New Republic. Leia is coming with some Jedi backup to like come talk to him, but the whole thing is like talk to him. And only he's aware that like he's fucking with them on purpose and kind of orchestrated this and wanted the Jedi to come. So like he's our bad guy, but we don't really know exactly what he's doing. Just that he's our bad guy and he hates all the people around him and he'd fucking kill everybody just to do it because why not? We know he's a fucking psycho. He never uses the Force. And he seems kind of like he's got a boner against the Jedi when he thinks about him, and he's like, it's one of those like, and I'm gonna beat the fucking Jedi, yeah, kind of thing. So like, he's got a boner against the Jedi. We go from there. I believe that's the end of the first chapter. The second chapter is Luke Skywalker flying to Coruscant, your favorite place.
I hate Coruscant. No one wants to go to Coruscant.
To go to a Senate meeting with the head of the New Republic, the current head of the New Republic, a Bothan. God, what's his name? Something with an O. Oh, fuck, I'll look it up and bring him back because it does matter. He's been a political opponent of Leia's for years, apparently. And he got the job when she retired. He has called a meeting between him and a bunch of the senators and Luke Skywalker, Master of the Jedi. Because at this point in the timeline, Luke has put together a Jedi Praxium, is what he called it, and it's an academy, and trained a new wave of Jedi. And now there's actually like 70, 80 Jedi again. And
Kyle Katarn.
Like, yeah, a bunch of them. And Jaina and Jason and Anakin and Ben and God, what's her name? Jason's wife, Tanel Ka, and whole bunch of other and like other Jedi, and they're out there like doing stuff. Well, there's no council. There's no Jedi council. He hadn't gotten that far yet. He's just finished training the first like new class, and they're out there like doing Jedi shit. But nobody's telling them what to do, or organizing them, or like getting them correlated to like maximize their efforts. It's just each Jedi's out there going, and I don't like that, and like running around doing shit, and that's causing problems for the galaxy. So what is revealed in the meeting is that it's basically the New Republic Senate calling in the head of the Jedi to be like, we don't like what you've been doing with your Jedi and you're very in trouble. And while we're walking into this meeting, our vantage point is revealed to be Luke's Padawan, Jason Solo, Jaina's sister or brother. Jaina's brother. I believe he identifies as male. But Jason Solo is Luke's apprentice and revealed to be our POV. And we get a lot of internal monologue from him. And he is revealed to be wise beyond his years and very intelligent, but pretty arrogant and also very biased. Like, he knows who his uncle is and what his uncle did. He knows who his dad is and what his dad did. He knows who his mom is, who his aunt is, who his sister is, who all the other knights in his class are. Like he's not unsure of who he is or how like capable and worthwhile he is. But out of all of the Jedi in that new class of them, he seems to be the most philosophically minded and obsessed with like literal like Force philosophy and thought and meditation and stuff. And so it is revealed very quickly that he and Luke have already had conversations where Jason has outright stated that he thinks that the Jedi Praxium was a bad idea and that Luke did it wrong. And
what's the Praxium?
The Academy.
Oh, okay.
It's just what they call it, is the Praxium. It's okay. So you've seen 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
So in 4, A New Hope,
Yes.
when we do the flight from the jungle moon of Yavin to the Death Star to go blow it up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that big weird temple thing that we're in. You remember the big yellow structure?
Like when the ships go to take off and then they go to fly off the Yavin, fly off the planet. There's like a temple in the background,
And the guy with
like
the
a little
fucking
pyramid on the true
Yes, yes,
planet.
yes, 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 yes.
yes, the pyramid in the jungle.
Yes.
Luke took that. It was
Okay.
given to him by the New Republic. He did enough stuff to help them out and founded the Jedi again and did all this other shit and got them off their feet and actually made them a government that they went. We can literally like give you a planet and stuff. What do you want to do? And he went Yavin. I want the temple and the planet, and they went, yeah, cool. And so they gave him Yavin 4, and it is literally Luke's personal property is the moon of Yavin 4. And the place from A New Hope where they all took off in their X-Wings to go fight the fucking Death Star, he turned that into a Jedi temple and called it the Praxium.
Okay, and they did this for him because at this time he is like the baddest Force user out there. Yep. Okay, fair. That's fair. You want to keep that guy happy.
He at this point is, I believe, recognized as the Jedi Master. There are other masters, but he trained those masters. And this will, in point of fact, something that I remember from having read these books before a few decades ago, is in point of fact, he is about to become Grand Master and will be the only one.
Okay, because Yoda's already dead.
Yes. And it'll be Grand Master Luke Skywalker, Master of the Jedi Council, and then Master Kyle Katarn, Master Kip Duron, Master Mara Jade, Master. Well, I don't think Leia ever gets mastered, but like, that kind of shit. So, like, this is actually the book that's going to get him elevated above just being Master, and he will be officially recognized as the head of the entire Jedi Order and the head of the Council. So, like, it'll kind of become, and the buck stops here.
So I know both you guys already brought up the timelines, but how close are your guys' books' timelines?
15 years apart.
Okay. So they're not going to cross paths in the books okay.
He'll have some of the same characters I have in my book. He'll have characters that are not even in my book at all.
Yes. Like pregnant Leia, she ain't pregnant anymore. One of her pregnancies is flying her, and the other one walking.
Which one is first? Which one of your guys' books is first?
His.
Okay. Mine takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, which is where Luke defeats Vader and Vader kills Palpatine. That kind of
thing. And mine's 20-something.
Yeah, he's like 24, 25, something like that.
I'm just trying to put all the timelines together. So I'm basically just before or right at Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
You're right at Phantom Menace. He's 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I'm 24 years after Return of the Jedi. Okay. So some of the things going on in his books will be things you hear me talk about, but I will reference them in a historical way. Like, this has already been decided and done, and it's happening.
Gotcha.
So, like, in his books, Leia's pregnant. In my book, she has kids. In his book, she's hanging out with and I'm gonna say it my way. I'm not throwing shade at you, Cabe. I like you said, Star Wars is say what's in your heart. Yeah. The Nagri, the little fucking crazy fighter monkey people that work with the Empire, now don't work with the Empire. They work with Lady Vader.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what they referred to her as Lady Vader. Yeah.
And they all follow her around like damn near religiously, like literally religiously. She means a lot to them. And so she has permanent Nagri bodyguards, always, like half a dozen. And she can only get that number down to 1. So I forgot to mention that. That was the other person in the shuttle, was her Nagri bodyguard, who followed her around like a fucking shadow until she got annoyed by it and then told him to stand in this spot just outside the cockpit so she could go talk to her daughter alone. And then they do all the crazy fucking flying, and she remembers, fuck, I told him to stand there and I never told him to do anything else. And she turns around and opens the door and he's still just standing there. like nothing happened. Everything behind him is fucking destroyed and like knocked over, and fucking 3PO's on his ass in the back of a closet, and he's just standing there like he never moved. It's like, oh yeah, the Nagri, they're pretty fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
So we're at the meeting between Luke, who at this point is just Master Luke, and the New Republic Senate. And our vantage point is Luke's Padawan Jason, and he's watching this meeting. And basically, what's going on is the New Republic is very upset with the Jedi because they're disorganized and they're fucking stuff up more than they're helping, or at least that's what the New Republic says. The Jedi and all the common folk that they actually help and interact with and stuff say that they're helping a lot more than they're getting recognized for, and they're stopping a lot of crime, and there's a lot of problems with smuggling lately because this book is the New Republic is like 6 or 7 years old, just fucking started, just got going, and Leia just retired from her second term and was like, I'm out of politics, fuck this shit. So like there's still kind of rocky ground, and a lot of people don't really believe in the New Republic. It's like, have you seen The Mandalorian, the first episode?
I'm not.
Okay. There's a scene in The Mandalorian because it takes place like 6 or 7 years after the fucking Battle of Yavin, where he gets paid and somebody tries to give him New Republic credits, and he's like, fuck that shit, I don't take New Republic credits. He's like, they don't fucking spend anywhere. So like we're still kind of in that place where the New Republic is trying to like establish itself and get taken off, and they're really pissed off at the Jedi because they feel like the Jedi are uncoordinated and fucking things up, making more problems. We flash back at this point to a conversation that Luke and Jason had while they were flying into Coruscant to go talk to the senators, which was basically Luke already knew who all was going to be in the meeting, and you get a rundown of who all is going to be in the meeting, and that there's an odd number, and these two are already against him, and these two are already for him, and there's one guy who he doesn't know at all. And that's going to be the guy that he's focusing on. And this guy is from Corellia, I want to say, and he has a short political record because he just got started as a senator, but he's moved fast and amassed a lot of power and a lot of followers, but he seems to be pretty chill and logical and doesn't seem to have like a crazy fucking agenda. He just seems to be like very politically oriented and very capable. So Luke's whole thing going into this is, I know these two assholes are against me, and I know those two guys are with me. I need this guy because he's going to be the tiebreaker, and I need to know what he's into, what he likes, what he dislikes, what his thoughts on the Jedi are, all this shit. So that's what I'm going to be trying to kind of do going into this meeting, is I don't really care what they're going to say or what they're going to yell or if I'm going to get blamed for anything. That's not what matters to me. What matters to me is figuring this stuff out about this guy, because I don't know anything about him, and he's going to be real important. And Jason kind of, yeah, I see the wisdom in that. I get it. And that's another thing they harp on a lot, is that Jason, even though he's only fucking like, I think they all just became knights. Even though he's just a fucking knight, like he's very extremely powerful, like Luke Skywalker style, very extremely powerful in the Force. And he's also kind of punk rock and doesn't really like being told what to do. And he's really into like philosophy and thinking for himself. So
I get him about it.
So he actually is really against this whole Jedi Praxium thing. It's part of the flashback, is they have this argument where he basically straight out tells Luke that you fucked me and my sister and all of our friends up, and you don't really know what you're doing, and you are causing some harm to some of us because some of us are not cookie cutter fucking Jedi. And because we're not cookie cutter fucking Jedi, you're telling us to like ignore our natural inclinations or abilities or powers. And that's not so. Like they have this whole fucking back and forth. And Luke's whole thing is, everybody's really worried about Jason. Let's talk about Jason. You know, it's kind of one of the deals. Everybody's worried he's Vader's grandson, and he's Luke Skywalker fucking powerful, and he's 15 years old and doesn't like being told what to do and is developing kind of an attitude. So everybody's freaking out and going, oh God, what's going to happen with Jason? We've got to really like tighten down on Jason. And that's why Luke took him as his apprentice, as a knight, because he's a master and Jason's a knight. So there's the delineation still. Kind of like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in Phantom Menace.
Okay.
So Obi-Wan was a knight, but he was rolling around with his master because he had just become a knight. So like,
Yeah.
you're still working with your closest partner that you do the best work with at the moment. So they're doing that kind of a thing. Luke and Jason are, and Luke's whole idea is that Jason's going to be fine. He's probably going to be a better Jedi than I ever have been, and he's going to be a light side Jedi at that because that's just what's in our bloodline is we're fucking heroes. I'm going to make sure he doesn't get too far off into the weeds and start doing crazy like force drugs. You know, I'm going to help the kid stay on the straight and narrow by not being an authoritarian.
Gonna
I'm
get
going to
addicted to the death sticks.
Exactly. Like he's I'm going to actually like engage him. So when Jason quips off and says, "Well, yeah, why don't we just fucking do this?" I'm going to take it dead fucking serious and turn around and have a conversation with him and be like, "Well, okay, let's talk it out. If you do it your way, then this happens and that's a bad thing and then I have to do this instead. That many bad guys die, but that means this many good guys get hurt." So like Luke's whole deal is I'm just going to treat him like a fucking adult. He's going to have a lot of mobility and capability to like go around and do stuff while he's with me as my like apprentice, but I'm mostly just going to be there to like, do you think that's a good idea? So like it's really weird. We have a lot of Jason kind of harping on Luke through this chapter, and Luke just being like, well, it's really interesting that you think that, and here's why I'm doing this instead. And Jason just kind of being like, fuck, I don't know. So like it's a weird relationship, but it's still very familial and still very much like Luke is trying to watch out for his nephew, who's kind of a fucking bonehead, to be honest. Like, Jason's cool and he's got powers and he's very neat, but he's arrogant and he's young. So
Yeah. It sounds like he's going through everything that like a 15, 16, 17-year-old boy goes through of the ego and the arrogance, you know.
Rebelling
It's
against their parents, all their
Yeah, exactly.
ideas. Yeah.
So his uncle, his cool uncle who saved the galaxy, like came by and took him and was like, he's my apprentice and basically lets him run wild. But it's Luke, so he doesn't let him run too fucking wild, and he's really good at the philosophy thing. So he and Jason talk a lot. Is basically the upshot of this chapter. Is Jason and Luke have a lot of really deep philosophical, we are equal minds talking to each other kind of conversations, and people find that really weird because Luke's like 45, maybe even pushing 50, and Jason's like 15.
Yeah, with no accomplishments, where Luke has all the accomplishments. I mean,
Yes, but at this point, we've redeveloped some stuff about being able to tell how powerful people are in the Force. There is no such goddamn thing in my blessed universe as fucking midichlorians. Thank you. It's much more
I don't
magic.
know, man. Qui-Gon measured him. Excuse
He
me, no,
measured
Obi-Wan measured him.
all. Fuck that. I hate it. I hate it, and I will never not. And in these books, they don't fucking exist. Ha ha.
Fair.
But they have
It's
other ways.
forgotten in time.
They have like this like device thing that you can kind of they touch and you touch, and you can kind of gauge somebody's force potential. And we've done that with all of our book series plug, Young Jedi Knights TM, of which Jaina and Jason Solo are the main characters of. We already did that. It's their Harry Potter series, and Jason was revealed to be like fucking god powerful. Like, Jaina's not a shab. Like, she's badass too. She's got Skywalker blood in her, and she's probably at least as like personally capable as Jason is. But Jason hit like he just apparently could be anything if he wanted to. So like, Jason's got a destiny. We're getting there. It's a whole long ass series of books later that will deal with this. Right now, it's just he's kind of a punk kid and he hangs out with his uncle. We go to the meeting. The meeting unfolds pretty much like we thought it was gonna. These two yell at him. These two yell for him. This guy says nothing. We don't get anything about the guy that says nothing. We kind of fail that objective. We don't learn anything about our Corellian minister or trade or whatever. But he doesn't say anything either. He just stays true neutral through the whole engagement. What we do learn is the two that are pissed off at the Jedi are pissed off at the Jedi because they're working with the smugglers. And we learn this by doing conversational games and being Jedi. Nobody ever comes out and says, I'm working with the smugglers. The Jedi are just smart enough to be like, well, you're pissed off that this is happening, and you're saying that it's because we have guys deployed over here, that this crime is happening, and you're mad about that. But if you look at it and I move the guys over here, we've already checked over here. There's not actually the crime you're reporting happening here. And if we move these guys over here, these smugglers can. Oh, so you're working with the smugglers. Okay, cool. So they leave the meeting having been yelled at, and the New Republic's all like, we're mad at the Jedi, and if you don't fucking get your shit together, we might not work with you anymore. And Luke's kind of like, cool, I'll take that under advisement, and leaves with Jason. And Jason's like, so what did we fucking learn? And he's like, that those two guys are corrupt and that they're working with the smugglers, and now all we got to go do is chase down the smugglers and see what's up with them. And we end that chapter there. Chapter 3 takes place. What did they name the planet? It's fuck. Hold on, I might be able to pull it up real quick. It kind of matters. There's a map. No, let's hit the bigger goddamn. Whatever. Anyway, it's this planet that has specifically been chosen because it's on the edge of the outer rim, and it's like literally on the edge of the galaxy. And it was established by a place called Exgol.
Almost
As
sounds
in
like
extra.
Exegol.
Doesn't it?
It's pretty close.
It's short for Extragalactic Scientific Organization, and they go by Exgol. Like that. And we're on this frontier world on the very edge of the galaxy. There's literally nothing out past this planet, and we're a scientific outpost with a whole bunch of telescopes set up, pointed out. We are looking at the edge of our galaxy into nothing, and we're trying to see if there's anything out there, you know, if we could get somewhere else, what's going on. We're checking it out. That's what this place exists for. And there's another Nom. God, what's his name? Nom Karen. There's Nom Anor and Nom Karen. And Nom Karen appears to be a human who's working at this extragalactic scientific research organization's outpost on this planet. And he's just one of the dish techs. He's just one of the guys that aims the cameras and watches what's out there. And we're again getting a lot of internal monologue. And we reveal that this guy basically sleeps like 2 hours a night and spends the rest of his time pretty much at his workstation or really nearby, but not often in ways that people could tell that he's really nearby. You know, kind of creepy and weird, like he's stealthy. And that he thinks they're all his lessers, that he hates them all, and that he hates his fake face. And he kind of, what the fuck? And he gets a message. He's aimed his camera at a specific point in space. It's the same point in space that he always aims his camera, always, without fail. And it detects something, and he sees it. And he moves his camera and points it somewhere way the fuck else, and locks down all the other cameras and telescopes so that they can't aim anywhere else. And gets up and runs to his room. And now we finally get our proper introduction to the new baddies whose book series we are just starting, the Yuzan Vong.
Yes.
Nom Karen goes over to his full body length mirror and looks at himself and strips down naked and is utterly disgusted by the imperfections of his unscarred, untattooed flesh. And he reaches up to his nose and like he's tearing his face off, just like kind of lifts his fucking nostril up and then lets go. And the Ooglith, God, what's it called? The Ooglith Masker pulls open like that, like peeling fucking chewed bubble gum back off of something, and like peeling out like something underneath it, and it just peels back and falls off of him and reveals a Yuzon Vong male. And they're human-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it right now so I know I can picture what you're talking about.
I will put it in chat so you can spell it because it's weird.
Okay, that's not how I was gonna spell it.
Yeah, exactly. But it is pronounced Yuzon Vong, even though it looks like Yuzon.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
they're human-ish. His own descriptions of differences in the species as he's staring at himself here is a big focus of this chapter. This is the reveal of why that other Nom guy was like talking about hating his fucking face, and now we have this guy. Oh, okay, and here's the Yuzon Vong, and he looks at himself, and the big difference is, according to him, are Yuzon Vong are about 6 to 8 inches taller and about 15 to 40 pounds heavier, depending. And that they have much less hair, both body and head wise. And think more like predator hair, like the dreadlock things. They have some of that going on, and that's pretty much it. They otherwise don't have like body hair or facial hair. And part of their religion, which is planetary wide and non optional, um, is self mutilation, tattoos, brands, scarification, amputation, all kinds of shit. Like
Body modification.
think the Cenobites from Hellraiser fucked Darth Vader.
I don't know what those Cenobites are.
Yes, you do. Pinhead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Such sights to show you. Like those guys fucked Darth Vader, and the Yuzon Vong are like what came out. They're fucked off. It's part of their whole religion that like he gets into talking about like what his personal modifications are. And they include that he's broken his own nose so many times to the same direction that it's basically just kind of like floppy and just like hangs over one side. And that he's got both of his lips cut off. So he's just got fucking teeth.
Oh my god.
And
It's
he's got like
fucking wild.
yeah, and he's got like tattoos and shit. And then we reveal that he hates not only like the fake skin, the Ooglith masker, because they name it, it's a living organism. It is alive. It is sentient. It is not just like it's like a fucking pet. He fucking takes it off and it crawls across the room into a box and he like feeds it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then he reveals that he hates technology. And this would be where we have the whole Nominor on Ramamul, who's starting up the crazy cult that hates technology thing because the Yuzon Vong advanced their technology to the point of genetic modification and manipulation, and then made all of their technology biological.
I was gonna say they're more
So
biological technology than
they
actual,
don't
just
have
normal.
anything that's just like their ships are not ships, they're organisms that they travel in, and like their weapons are not just like it's called an amphistaff, and it is a bow staff with like an alien from Aliens TM
Yeah.
face on one side. It's alive. It's a fucking snake. And he can like hold it and tell it to be rigid and it'll become hard like a fucking staff and he can fight with it like a fucking weapon, or he can let it be alive and it's a fucking snake and it'll like bite people and shit. Like that's just how all of their tech is. It's alive. So he goes over and pulls out this giant testicle sack from his footlocker. It's literally described as two fleshy lumps in a bag.
Okay, right. That's fair.
He's
That's
got
fair.
a giant testicle sack. And he pulls one of the lumps up and starts rubbing it.
Fondling.
Yes. And like caressing and petting and like literally trying to like, ooh, you're so nice. Like and it fucking opens and like turns in on itself and becomes an eyeball. And it looks at him and he calls Nam Karen calls Nam Anor. And it turns inside out again, except this time when it's done, it's turned into the face of Nam Anor. And they talk to each other like they're on what did we call it in Star Wars? The HoloNet?
Yeah.
Like they're on the HoloNet. So they're having a conversation halfway across the fucking galaxy with each other through their
Yeah.
giant optical sacks. And it literally like turns into the face of the other guy and talks.
What are you doing down there?
Yeah, and it's revealed that they are the Yuzon Vong. They are an extragalactic race. This is a first for Star Wars. They are not from here in any way. They have nothing to do with anything we've ever done. They're from way out past another galaxy, and they've landed here. And it's a plan. This is revealed. What is also revealed is that Nominor is the guy who created the space disease that's killing all the Force users and has infected Mara Jade. It's part of their living technology thing. He has a giant mushroom monster thing that lives in his closet, and he can edit genes with it and make it create like new spores and new types of poisons and shit like that. And that's what it is. It's called a roosper. I can't pronounce it. It's ROOSPEIR. Roospier. It's a something spore.
Okay.
It's a type of biological warfare that they came up with because they've been coming for a long time and they've had people here for a long time and they've been doing a lot of research, and that is also revealed. And so they know about the Jedi, and they know the Jedi are going to be a fucking problem. So they've been trying to find a way to handle the Jedi for when they arrive.
Didn't Palpatine know something about the Yuuzhan Vong?
So in Legends, there's this whole thing, and you've already read some of it. Joris Saboth.
Yeah, the guy in my book.
Yeah. He's a clone.
Mhm.
Sorry to blow stuff.
No, I know he's a clone. Yeah.
Okay. Because the real Joris Saboth is no longer here. He is, in point of fact, died to the Yuzon Vong. Because he, probably 15 years before your book, Joe, so
Yes.
time of the Old Republic, this guy named Joris Saboth was a Jedi Master, and he went, I wonder what's out past our galaxy.
Yeah, because him and like 3 other masters went into like the unknown.
And they started a project called Outbound Flight.
Mhm.
And Outbound Flight was Joris Saboth and 3 or 4 other Jedi Masters and a bunch of other people that wanted to leave the galaxy to go do exploring and science stuff. So yes, the Yuzon Vong found them. Hi. And that's how they figured out there was somewhere else to go and some other shit to do. And so Yuzon Vong have been coming for a long time. They've been planning this for a long time. And so they have created this weird spore specifically to kill the Jedi, because they know the Jedi are going to be a fucking problem when they show up. Then we shift back to Nom Karen in his room, and the little, they call it a villip. This is the ball sack thing that turns into a face. And it shrinks back into a little lump, and he puts it back in its bag. And he strips down to basically nothing but his underwear and gets a knife, because he's supposed to go sabotage a bunch of the telescopes and scientific equipment so that there won't be evidence of where the Yuzon Vong came from. So he goes running through the fucking jungle, and a bunch of stuff is also revealed here. He's been terraforming this planet since he got here. He's been introducing alien life forms that like were not part of the ecosphere that are now, and they're fucking taking over. And so like he's been doing shit other than just pretending to be a guy who works on satellites and telescopes. And he goes running around and destroys some comm lines, and he does it in the dumbest fucking way possible, because it's also revealed that they get off on pain, like the Cenobites, like they literally like fucking, it's their jam. So he finds a power cable and he has a knife, and instead of cutting the power cable, he literally chews through it. And it talks about how like it explodes teeth and destroys his fucking lips and blows out his nose and all this other shit. So like by the time he's done, just his fucking face is just this bloody ruin. And
But he's into it.
yeah, but he's like, oh man, that feels so good. I need like a cup of coffee and maybe to jerk off.
Need a good smoke after.
Yeah, and so like you're like, okay, these guys are fucking pain freaks. And he goes running back through the jungle because now he's got to get back into his masker and pretend to be the guy that he's been pretending to be because he's got more kind of hijinks, stealth bullshit to be doing to prep for the rest of the invasion fleet. We run into some of the minor characters of the other people that work at this station. Only one of them seems like she might actually be a problem. Her name is Danny Quee. Danniquee. So Quay or Quee, whatever. She's a scientist. She's smarter than everybody else there. Might be smarter than Nom Karen even. And she's like about this whole studying the extragalactic objects and stuff. So he sneaks back in, puts his skin back on. They don't talk about like what happens with his fucking blown out face. I mean, I guess like the Ooglith masker's not fucked up like that, but like his teeth would still be fucked up and shit. But like we don't really talk about that. He just puts his skin back on and he's cool now. And he goes back to his post and finds everybody that fucking works there at his post. And like Danny is in his computer and like going, oh my God, fucking the one time you weren't here, like what was up? Were you taking a shit? And he was like, yeah, I was taking a shit. And she was like, you fucking missed it. We got something from outside the galaxy. And he's like, I'm gonna have to kill every cracker in this fucking room. It's like pretty much what he thinks. And it's revealed that she heard the tone too, and when he left, she just assumed he didn't hear the tone, so she came over to see what it was and recalibrated his shit and was smarter than his lockouts. So she just put the camera back to where it was and saw the ship coming in from nothing and was like, oh my fucking God, and freaked out and called everybody. So now he's like, God damn it. And he's actually pretty smart. So instead of just murking everybody, he just starts kind of like scientifically naysaying and being that guy in the group. And he's going, well, let's not like get too excited. And we probably shouldn't call anybody yet. Like we need to do a whole lot of verifying that this is actually extragalactic. It could just be like a comet. It could be something from our system that's coming back in from somewhere else. Like we really need to do a lot more work before we like go around telling anybody, because otherwise we're going to look fucking stupid. And then nobody's ever going to take us seriously again, and then we won't be able to keep doing the research. And everybody kind of goes, oh, shit, yeah, okay. So he kind of talks everybody into just agreeing to just kind of keep on keeping on and don't tell anybody because we're not sure this is actually legit. And they all go, yeah, actually, you're right. Scientifically speaking, that's probably the smartest thing to do. We'll just continue to observe. And then he leaves going, I am going to have to kill every cracker here, but like maybe not all at once and maybe not right here. And that's where that chapter ends. And I'm only halfway through the next chapter, so I don't really feel like I should start that one, you know?
Yeah, I
Makes
hear you
sense.
on that.
So that's pretty much where we're at there. Is we've introed most of our big characters. I'm sure there's going to be other ancillary players that come in. Like I'm sure Danny's going to matter, and there's going to be a few more Jedi. Like God, I shudder to think, but we're going to have more Worth Skitter.
Skitter.
Worth Skitter.
Oh yeah. Shoot. I'm interested to hear more about both of your guys' books. I like that I like Maul. I think he's just such a cool badass character that up until they expanded more on him later on. I mean, at the time all we had was a Phantom Menace, There's just some badass with a double bladed saber that got cut in half and you're like, "Oh, well, he's gone."
He was in God damn it, Star Killer's first game.
Yeah, well, I mean, then they brought him back for the Clone Wars animated show and Rebels, and then they started having books for him and stuff, like the ones Joe's reading. But like, when Maul first showed up, it was just here's Maul, and it's like then they killed him, and you're like,
fucking raging badass.
yeah,
And he dies.
and you're like,
Right,
huh?
and after so far just the intro to this book, I do not like how they did him in the Duel of Fates. I mean, when he's got Obi-Wan just hanging down there and he just uses the Force to kind of jump to a front flip 180 and cuts him in half, and Maul's just standing there like, oh, I don't know what to do now. I mean,
I'm
Yeah.
in
no,
half. Oh no.
no, he would have chopped up Obi-Wan so fast.
I
So now
think they explain it better in the novelization of a Phantom Menace than than what they show you in the movie. Because I think
I'm sure. I'm
in the
sure.
book, I think he moves at such a insane fast speed that like it just caught Maul off guard, and like he
Okay.
was just not expecting it. And because
Because there's also
I mean, how fast can you really make him move in a movie? You know?
Yeah.
well, yeah, and there's also the like the lore behind the fight, like the paperwork. Effectively,
Yeah,
that's one of the first times Obi like becomes one with the Force.
yeah. He
He'll do it
let it
4 or
all
5
in,
or
and
6 more times, but like this is the first time he ever just like there is nothing but the Force, and I just do what it wants, and it wanted him to live and Maul to die. So he just kind of like went, I will let the Force guide me, and the Force was like, jump, bitch. So like he kind of got Deus Exed. There was supposed to be more there than like I think like Zach saying, how fast can you make
Yeah.
a move in a movie? Because then people can't track it at all. And
Yeah.
so like you know,
yeah. And that's one cool thing about the novelizations of the movies is like there's so much more than what's
depth
in
to
the
it.
actuals
Yeah.
movies, and like more of them talking off screen, and it's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Well, because like one of the things I'm super disappointed about for this particular episode is that you guys had like fight scenes and like escapes,
Yeah.
like shit going on, and all of my stuff so far. There was the very brief scene with Jaina flying cool and Worth shooting some stuff down, but there have been no fights. And one of the things that R.A. Salvatore is specifically like world renowned for literally is sword fights in his books. He's the guy that does all the Drist books.
Huh.
I don't know if either one of
I,
you know.
I have no idea what a Drisk book is. No idea.
It's just a big thing in fantasy and has been for like 30, 40 years. He's an iconic D&D character. He's a drow ranger and he fights with 2 swords.
Okay.
And his whole thing is like R.A. Salvatore's whole thing is he is literally world renowned and world celebrated for how he writes his sword fight scenes.
oh yeah.
So I'm really fucking excited and anxious to get to somebody with a fucking lightsaber having a reason to pull it out because he'll have a really cool fight scene for me there. But so far it's just been introing a lot of characters and displaying how they're clever. And like I like that because I do think it's neat, but also I want a cool fight scene to talk about.
Yeah, and that's one thing in my book. So is it's a lot of talking. A lot of people, let's talk over here. Well, now let's talk over here. Well, what about this and what about that?
How important is the
Oh, and
situation?
then a Star Destroyer shows up. We gotta disperse. And then they kind of like run
Slam dunk
away.
you.
I mean, there's cool ones like with Luke in that bar when he de-escalates the situation using his force
The force.
abilities and stuff, and he ends up smelling a dude through the force that he recognized the scent and was like, "Hey, how much would these credits transfer over to this type of credit if we were to, switch it over to Imperial credits?" And he's all like, uses his
Well,
force
that's
powers and stuff, and I thought that was cool. But for a lot of my books, it's a lot of jibber jabbering back and forth, and then cool space battle, jibber jabbering, some guns, and then spaceships.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
crazy.
feel like I got spoiled with my intro. I got the Darth Maul fighting the 4 droids, then I got the Lorne Pavan standoff
mm-hmm,
shootout.
mm-hmm.
Yes, that one thing that I thought was interesting in my book is they say that Sidious named Darth Maul Darth Maul, but that's just not true because his name was already Maul. He just put Darth in front of it, so I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like he
Well,
didn't really name him.
his name was not Maul. It was something else. There's a whole episode in fucking
The Clone
what is
Wars.
it? Clone Wars that talks about it, where he has a brother who
Savage.
has an. They
He's
both
got
got.
two brothers, right?
I don't know.
Farrell and Savage Opress.
Savage Opress and Maul.
Farrell.
Who?
Farrell.
Farrell?
Yeah, at like a feral cat.
Who the fuck is Farrell?
That's
Well,
the three brothers. I mean, you
in-
got Maul, Savage Opress, and Farrell. They're
Well,
three brothers.
Doesn't Savage kill his brother and ends up
Yeah.
joining Dooku?
Yes.
No, I think he joins. What's her name? The
Ventress.
chick with the. Yes. I can't think of her name.
It's been so long since I've watched that
so hard
show.
for me to follow.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. Younger brother to Savage Opress and Darth Maul.
Yeah, I want to say he like
Yeah, all
snaps
three of
his
those
neck
kids are so cool.
or something like that.
Yeah. Farrell at his death at the hands of his brother, and it's Savage Opress holding him up like this and fucking snapping his neck.
Yeah.
Mhm. So sad because Farrell was just he was not cut out for that lifestyle.
Farrell was not like
he was not.
Yeah,
No.
Farrell was not evil.
No.
I had forgotten entirely.
Yeah.
That they
Yeah,
had
I forgot he had another brother as well.
I thought he was some fucking dude that Savage murked to
Yeah.
like prove his dominance in the dark side. I'd forgotten that was his little brother. Yeah,
I had just watched that episode last week, and I was like, as it's building up, I'm like, man, Farrell's he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it.
And you remember what's his fucking name? Because Savage Opress and Maul are not their names. They call each other something else before.
As far as I know, that's their name. Please correct me in the comments, but I mean that is
all in the comments. We would like to know.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, those are their three names, and I just thought it was weird when Sidious said, like in the book, that you named him Darth Maul, but that's not actually his name was already Maul.
Well,
Darth Maul's real name is unknown. He was born as a Zabrak from Dathomir and became known as Darth Maul after being trained by Darth Sidious.
So he wasn't named Maul. That's just
he has stated that he does not remember it, and his brother Savage Opress also does not mention it. So.
Okay, so Savage would know what his name was, but doesn't say it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't remember.
But either way, he was known as Maul before Sidious, and then, like, I think if you're going to be naming him Darth something, it's got to be different than his actual name. You know, isn't Dooku Tyrannus?
Yeah.
It was. That's what we're saying. That's what's going on.
Anakin, Vader.
But
there's
a cool thing about Maul is how he is how Palpatine got Maul was he was literally handed a knapsack with a baby Zabrak in it. So it's like they're not going to have any of his records in a database. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he could just be Darth Maul. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's no record of him being born. There's no criminal record, nothing like that. He's basically a blank slate. So I mean, it's not like his name would mean of any importance to anybody other than they just know he's a Zabrak. You know what I mean?
And he might not have ever had a name. Actually, like how you're saying, because
the mom probably didn't even name him, just kind of like was like here, because she just tossed him to him in the Plagueis book and was like, here you go.
Have a baby.
Yeah, I was hoping this book would kind of go into more of like the upbringing of Maul, but it kind of just started right there at that timeline.
It may flash back. Who knows? I mean, but I always thought it was pretty weird how he was just given a random kid and was like, here, it's yours.
Yeah, in this book already too, they kind of introduced the different lightsaber fighting styles. Like in the section where he's like going through the battle scene with those 4 droids, they say he was it riding Bantha stance was one of them. Another one was Rancor Rising was another one. So it's interesting. Huh?
That's from Dimso, Rancor Rising.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So I mean, obviously, I'm the noob in the Star Wars universe, so it's like seeing like little things pop up here and there. It's like, hey, I heard that once before, and it's in my book now. You know, it's interesting things to come across.
It's definitely good to read around a timeline you're familiar with, because I feel like if you were just thrown into the Old Republic, you'd be like, I don't fucking know. Who are any of these
Even
people?
starting with Plagueis, which is just barely before this, where I'm at right now, was kind of difficult to follow. But I mean, so far, I'm really digging this book. Um, there's one thing I wanted to bring up too. Oh, they talked about the rule of two, and they say when they introduce Maul, when Sidious is saying it's time to reach out to the other half of the Sith Order. So I'm assuming Plagueis is already dead at this point, but we don't have anything to say where exactly they're at in the timeline. Because I know it seems like the Plagueis book and this book do overlap quite a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
yeah. So Plagueis,
But
well, Plagueis is alive halfway through the movie, and if he's talking with Newt Gunray and all them about the
yeah, so
blockade,
he's definitely
Plagueis
still
has to be
alive.
alive at that point
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Yeah, when I was reading the battle scene with Maul and the droid, and they were he describes igniting the double-ended saber. It almost gave me flashbacks to when I saw Darth Maul light up that saber for the very first time in
When
the
he
Phantom
opens the
Menace. When I
door,
was like, yeah, 9, 10-year-old kid, you got this badass, bad guy character, and then we get the new double-edged saber. I mean, it was cool. It gave me flashbacks reading that.
they're connected.
Yeah, absolutely epic. Kind of
Yeah,
reading through my notes, see if there's anything else I wanted to point out that I thought was interesting. The underbelly of Coruscant, I don't think. I mean, that was something that was new to me. I always thought that Coruscant was like just a real, high end, well to do place. But I didn't think that they actually had like a dark underground full of what are they called? Spider roaches, huge armored rats, and hawk bats that had a 1.5 meter wingspan. I don't know what a hawk bat is, but for a wingspan of gosh, what is that? 7 feet. That's
More than
scary.
yeah.
More than 7 feet. Yeah, that's
man.
Freaking dudes, the underground of Coruscant is fucking wild. That's why I wish we'd have got the 1313 game, because it was like a young Boba Fett that like is on the lower levels of Coruscant on level 1313. Oh, dude, it'd have
Yeah.
been so cool. Because it's like we don't
There's-
really get to see a whole lot of that, and they briefly touch upon it in Plagueis's book. And then if George Lucas still had Star Wars and had done his live action show, Underworld or Underground or something like that, we'd have had more of Coruscant's like lower levels.
So, going back to that series, I love to fucking plug Young Jedi Knight TM.
Mm.
One of the Jedi Knights, the young Jedi Knights, one of the new generation guys, and Jaina Solo's first boyfriend and first heartbreak. Oh my god, is a bad boy named Zek, who is an orphan who survived feral and alone, entirely alone, in the fucking Coruscant Underdark for like 9, 10, maybe 11 years by himself
Jeez.
entirely down there. And he fucking survived it. And this old man found him and then just brought him out and was like, he's a little bit crazy, but he's a good boy.
He won't bite too many fingers off.
And basically, like, his name is Zek, and he's basically Star Wars Tarzan. It turns out he's from a dynasty, he's got lineage, he's very important, yada, 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 but this takes years to discover, and all we really know in the beginning is he used to be a literal feral child that they found in the Coruscant Underdark and that they fucking rehabilitated, and he becomes one of the first Jedi Knight class member guys. And also, there's a whole series of books and subplots about it. He falls to the dark side for a while and goes to work for the Empire and almost revives the Empire, and then stops and then decides that he shouldn't do anything with the Force ever again because he's not good at it. So he just becomes a mechanic.
I like it.
Yeah.
After this, I do have to talk to you both about a mechanic thing.
All right.
It'll be cool. It'll be interesting. But, yeah. I think that's
I
about
do
it.
want to find out why Lauren Pavon flipped out when Zippa kind of hinted, like, what are you, some sort of Jedi? What do you need this holocron for? And then Lauren freaks out, and that's what caused the whole, deal gone bad. I want to know what in Lauren's backstory caused, like, such... caused being a Jedi is such a touchy subject for him because I don't think he is a Jedi. I just why does him being implied as one, make
So
him so angry? So I'm looking
is
forward to finding that out.
is he the guy that's buying the holocron to give to Sidious?
No, no. So I don't think he has anything to do with Sidious.
Okay, so he's just
Um,
some random dude.
he's a data broker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if
data
he's a
broker.
data broker, he might be working with like Plagueis because Plagueis was a banker.
Maybe we haven't gotten that far yet. I do know that him and Lauren and I5 kind of had a discussion on was that a Jedi holocron or was that a Sith holocron? Because I guess it had like a red glow to it. So
Yeah.
we don't know what kind of holocron it is yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. Darsha Asant, we'll see how she goes because I don't think I just have a feeling it's not going to end well for her.
Probably not.
I mean, I think she's going to end up crossing paths with Maul, and I think Maul's going to, probably mess her up pretty good. Pretty good. One thing I did like about like the I guess like idle time in the story when the inner monologues of Maul, the narrator just is really driving in the fact of just how goal oriented and devoted Darth Maul is. Like even on like the his speeder bike ride through Coruscant, he's talking about. I wrote it down. Talks about how. Where is it? But anyway, he's just completely devoted to Sidious, and if Sidious were to say like you're no useful to me now, go ahead and kill yourself, that he would do so without objection. And I thought that was just you got to be really devoted at that point. Where if it's like the guy you're working for says go kill yourself, and you're like 100%, I'm going to do it in the best possible way I can. That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know that's not true.
Why not? Well, don't spoil it for me. Let me get there.
Watch the end of the Clone Wars, like literally the last episode.
Yeah. I'm episode. I'm in season 4, early season 4 right now.
So it's and to be honest and to be fair, to give credence to both of the writers, perhaps there's an evolution of Thought Train from where Maul is in the book that you're reading and that episode. Because there's a difference in time. Some things have happened. So like I don't know.
Yeah, so far I've been really happy with this book so far. I don't know if next episode if I'll do 3 chapters. It was kind of
time for
well, I mean, like, dude, there was a lot of information right there, but it was also introducing, I think this is probably going to be all of like the 3 storylines in the book.
Well, yeah, because we're inevitably going to hit the part where it's just all.
Yeah, because mine's very 3 storylines as well, like Leia, Han, and Lando, and then Luke, kind of doing their own things.
Yeah, because I think this book has like 30 chapters or high 20s, so it's like I want to get through it like efficiently, but I don't want to skip over stuff either. But I don't want it to take a year to get through this. If we're only doing 1 episode a week or whatever it comes out to, that's a long time. But
yeah.
Also, we can do more than 1 episode a week sometimes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because everybody know you got scheduling issues, boss man.
Yeah, but so far I'm really digging this book. Because for me, it's like I said, as a kid, I watched 4, 5, and 6, and it was cool, but it was still like an '80s movie. So when the new ones came out, it just blew my mind. Qui-Gon's my favorite Jedi.
Everybody's got to like Qui-Gon, I think.
Yeah, Darth Maul, he's really cool. Because I mean, of course, Vader is always going to be like the badass #1, but I think Darth Maul's really, really cool.
I hated how they like nerfed Grievous so hard.
I don't know.
Because like we got the cartoon show before him, and then we got the movie, and it was like he was nothing in the movie compared to what he was in the old Clone Wars TV show, like the early 2000s. Bro was stomping Jedi in the ground, left and right.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the other thing that we're gonna have to kind of address and talk about in 1 second. I will get to that, but I'm kind of the inverse of Joe and Zach. I'm the old bastard in the group. I remember going to see Return of the Jedi in an AMC. So like, yeah, that's my shit. Fucking, I do agree with almost everything y'all are saying. I like Qui-Gon, he's badass. I think personally my favorite is Obi-Wan. Obi's just always been such a badass ever since he was.
He's had a lot of chances to be a bad guy. Homie has been
Yeah,
fucked over a lot, and he's
just
still just a
mostly
good
sad.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
professional.
sad guy. Like, so just I love me some Obi.
yeah.
He's my favorite Jedi. My big bad motherfucker is Bane, as always. Like the OG, the original. I love me some Bane or some Exar Kun. But anyway, things that we're gonna have to address as we're going through is relative force power level.
The Bane trilogy. That's mine. One of my other ones. I got.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. When you're done, can I reread those?
Yeah.
Like just to read them just for fun, because fuck, I love those books. But yeah, there are so many Jedi, and it's always so hard to gauge like how badass is somebody because a lot of this is just who's your fanboy favorite.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to categorize and break it down. Shit we'll get into as we go, but I'm also figuring it's stuff we'll talk about that's not on air. I don't know, man. There's going to be so many cool, badass Force users, and they're not all going to be Jedi, and they're not all going to be Sith. And some of them are going to have really fucking cool powers and shit that you've like never thought of. And so I'm really excited to get into this. I'm super excited for Joe. I'm really happy that like this could be something you could fall into, and I'm really happy that you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new rabbit hole for me, so I'm stoked. Zach, who's your number one Jedi and Sith?
Number one Jedi. I'm gonna have to go with Luke Skywalker.
Fair.
Not young Luke, but definitely Return of the Jedi and on. It is just something about the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like even though I fail, I can still come back and be better, and not give up on somebody and try to save them and be more open and caring and kind of stuff. You know, I mean, like he could have just said, you know, fuck you, Dad. You know, like he could have killed him and turned to the dark side, but he didn't. You know, and for my favorite Sith, dude, I gotta go probably like Vitiate, Lord Vitiate. That is a bad. I feel like he would beat the dog shit out of Palpatine in a fight. I really do.
Probably he was the blood guy, right?
He was the one that what was it, sucked the whole planet dry and lived for like 1,500 years.
Yeah.
He's the one who tricked Revan and all them. Because it's Lord Vitiate, but he's also got like another name.
Oh, fuck! You're talking about the true Sith Emperor.
Yeah, the one from KOTOR, or not KOTOR, but SWOTOR.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. He's not even really Sith. He's one of my favorite characters because of his whole like what I personally refer to as clarity on his position and relationship to the Force.
Yeah.
Which is he was another. I was engineered, so I'm super freakishly fucking powerful in the Force, and I don't believe in the dark side or the light side. I just believe in the Force. And yeah, he's done dark side shit. He's the Sith Emperor, but also like he's done some pretty light side shit too.
Well, I mean, he's had a family, and you know, I mean, shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I think he's a very interesting character. I'm gonna read more about him. I don't want the typical, you know, like my favorite's like Palpatine or something. You know what I mean? It's like I think there's more interesting Sith Lords. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the shit out of Vader. I mean, if I saw that motherfucker in a hallway, like from Rogue One, bro, I'm offing myself. You know what I mean? I'm not fighting that guy. But man, it's him. I don't care for Nihilus really. I think he's a little overrated. Scion's pretty cool. Dude literally refused to die, and his body
Yeah.
is like deteriorating, and he just keeps bringing himself back.
So much hate, he can't die.
Yeah.
And like you kill him like 8 times, literally kill
Yeah.
him. Like I stabbed you through the fucking heart with a
Well,
lightsaber, and you fell down with.
like, you can see it on my channel when like I do the last part of the KOTOR 2. I think you fight him like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Like 5 or 6. You
Yeah.
have to like talk.
You have to
into
literally,
dying.
yeah, just keep beating him and beating him and beating him. Of course,
Yeah.
Krea's pretty cool. She's literally like, she's like, I just want to get rid of the Force.
Yeah, fuck it all. Nobody needs it.
But I would have to probably say Vitiate. I think he's interesting.
That's fucking dope. That's a good pull.
Yeah.
That is fucking dope.
Well, boy.
That's why I like talking to you guys about Star Wars. Like, there's very little fanboy bullshit going on in here. Everybody wants to talk about who they think is the coolest, but also everybody's very like, oh yeah, no, dude, I like that too. That's fucking neat. Like, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, I like Palpatine and all, and Vader and shit. I even like Dooku, but it's like, they're not going to be my number one picks. I'm going to go, Legends or hell, even Darth Krayt in further on in the universe.
Damn, Darth Krayt is such a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Especially his
Love
armor. Doesn't his armor like deflect like lightsaber attacks and shit? Or like it tanks it, but he can feel the pain.
It's Yuzon Vong shit.
Yeah, it's because it's like infused to him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Krabalisk or whatever, the fucking armor Yuzon Vong wear. It's that shit. Yeah. Except I believe the deal was he got infected with a kind that's just like fucking rampant.
Yeah.
So like it's overgrown and like it's a fucking condition for him. For everybody else, like a Yuzon Vong would just be a suit of armor and it would stop like here and you could take it off. But like his shit, like he's got the giant shoulder pads and the shit running into the back of his head. Like I don't think he can take his shit off. But I only got like halfway through that comic series before it got canceled because somebody bought out the universe. Let's not say who.
The true Dark Lords. Disney. Well, boys, are you thinking this is about good enough? We've been talking about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I think I went through all my stuff. I definitely learned a lot from doing this the first time and how to probably take better notes next time so I can be more organized with getting my thoughts out.
I have better notes that have names and dates and everything, but I left that shit at work. So like, yeah, I need to do the same.
I have mine that are very unlegible. So it's like some words are definitely not spelled right, and I just jotted down what I could from memory.
But yes, I think we're covered. I think
it's pretty good first podcast.
Again, correct us in the comments.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna butcher us whether or not. You know what I mean? I'm sure I got some shit wrong. And
tell me about all the names I fucked up. I want to know.
Oh dude. Oh yeah. Pronunciation is not my lingo for Star Wars. But all right, everybody. I think this is where we're gonna end it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed our podcast, and there'll be plenty more to come. Make sure to hit the like button, the notification bell. Make sure to force smash the subscribe button, and drop down in the comments what's your favorite Legends book and why. That way we can read it and maybe add that to our list of what we want to read next.
Or if you don't have a favorite book, put your favorite Sith and Jedi in there.
Yeah, or movie. Just let us know what you enjoy. Yeah. But all right, everybody, we're gonna head out. Peace.
Thanks, guys.